What's up, kinfolk? This your boy Quentin.
And it's your girl Regina.
And thanks for joining our channel,
Conscious at Night. Okay, guys, so another really good question was asked. And the question is, do you guys struggle with the belief that you are God on your journey? And they said, because I struggle with the idea that I can be God.
Yeah. I mean, that's typical. I would say, me personally, do I struggle with the identity that I am God on my journey? I would say currently, no. I would say like my first 3 months of, maybe 3 to 6 months of finding out that I am God, yeah. And I struggle because I spent more time, I would say, in religion, and not just religion, but just the matrix period, than I did in the reality that I am God. Mm-hmm. With that reality that you are God, that is an exiting revelation of the matrix. That like you can't be God in the matrix. You know, like the veil and everything that is in front of the veil is the matrix. Like everything that's being played, because the veil is hiding what's behind that reality that you are currently experiencing in the matrix. So when I was personally in the matrix myself, like especially in religion, I'm only seeing what the stage is planned, in a sense. I'm only seeing what the stage had set as far as the play that I was there unconsciously just watching. So I'm literally inside of a movie, watching a movie, and unaware that I'm the producer within this movie. So for me, it was tough, because I'm like, first thing I'm like, am I tripping, man?
Right. Have I lost my mind?
Seriously, because am I like shifting to some type of antichrist type of a thing? And because that was the biggest thing that I questioned when it came to this revelation, like that I'm God. And I'm like, I had to answer that question myself, like, this can't be though, because one thing that I always stuck with me was that if God is love and God created me, and I'm in his image and in his likeness, then he obviously created me not just of him, but as him. And that was my perspective when I first found out that I was God. Like, I didn't know that God is a state of consciousness. I thought God was a him, and that him was my father, the father of all creation. So I'm not seeing God in a sense of me right away. But it was taking some time to just get used to, like, the idea that I am God. Like,
absolutely.
Because now what do I do with the belief that God is not the sky daddy that I always thought God was? And even in my mind at the time, I was like, okay, what if God is not sky daddy and he's not like a father, but I am really God, and all of this is created some way, somehow by me? What if it is super crazy to allow my mind to really go there? Because I won't lie to you, like, I was super afraid for my mind to go that far.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you mean tell me if I'm God, then, because I'm thinking God is like mapped all of this out. He is in control of everything that's happening. He is the author of life and death. So I'm like, because he's the author of the beginning and end and all that. So I'm like, this is all God.
Right.
But now you saying this is all me? And that was the thing about me within my first 3 to 6 months that made me afraid, was the idea that I could take this further and deeper than what it really is to me right now. That I am just God. And that's what I was afraid of the most, because I knew, you know me, I asked a lot of questions. You can't just put something in front of me and me not question it. So I knew I was gonna dig, and I just was like, am I really ready to find this out? Like, am I really ready to take this on? Because, you know, you're not finding something out like this if you're not ready for it. Like, this ain't coming into your reality if you're not prepared for it. It's just not. You got to be able to hear that and see it. I was fortunate enough to hear it, but to also accept it. So yeah, I was for sure my first 3 to 6 months. I was afraid. What about you?
Yeah, I would say I definitely struggled at the beginning. I don't know for about how long the struggle was, because it was like more and more that I did ask those questions that, like how you guys are asking the questions, like it was just one thing after another. Things just started to continue to be revealed to me by going within and really taking time to myself and seeking, knocking, like, and the answers were literally there. It was like throughout, like almost day to day synchronicities that I was seeing happening in my life, and that were more and more pointing me to like just the whole thing, the answers, all of the questions that I had. So initially it was just like, whoa, pump the brakes, because all that I knew of God was not anything of what I could like think to be me, especially with my mindset and how it was before. Just seeing, right from wrong, sin, and things like that,
like duality.
Yeah, the whole dualistic like perspective of life, which is what is set up in this 3D matrix that we, are in right now. This whole simulation, So I was seeing in that way, and so of course then I was then judging myself at times for when I would make mistakes or sin or do what was considered wrong, based on, what I was taught. And so it was a whole good and bad thing. And it's like, but God, I only seen as one way. God was, good, right? And the devil was bad, just that whole thing. And so to put me now in the space of what God is, it was just like, how, Sway? But when I tell you, things just I continue to be reminded in different ways, and shown and revealed this truth that it all made sense. So yeah, that is why I definitely struggled at the beginning, because of the whole dualistic mindset that I had been trained in for so many years, So definitely.
That was pretty much mine too. Like, you start realizing, as far as like duality, how it is going to play a big part in your detachment from the matrix. I mean, we was taught right, wrong, left, right, up, down, yin, yang, good, evil, God, the devil, higher self, low. Like, we were taught this stuff. And so we identified ourselves by deeds, whether they be good or whether they be bad. So that was why it was initially really hard for me too. I think for the both of us, we can equally say that the moment we realized that the dualistic reality that we lived in was just that, it was just a reality. And we know that reality is nothing but a state of consciousness that you are currently experiencing. So we knew, we can change the way we think instantly about duality. We can make everything non-dualistic and everything one. So we started to realize that if I am God and she is God, everyone's God. The thing was, the question that we had asked on last week, if we're God, then who is the devil? Once we accepted that reality as well, we realized, like, okay, so we're God when we're in the light of who we know we are as God, and we are the devil when we are not in the light of who we know we are as God. So we accepted both realities, and it became easy to accept one. It became easy to accept a non-dualistic reality, because now we realize we get to choose God, or a higher state of consciousness, every single day. And we get to remain in that state of consciousness as long as we want. So yeah, that's kind of what helped Us, honestly, I would say if I'm being honest, like that was like my wife. She'd say that was the game changer because once we stopped looking at ourselves as bad or good, but just God.
Oh yeah.
It was like, yo, we don't judge ourselves as good or bad. We judge ourselves as God experiencing itself in an awareness of itself. And it was pretty much easy for us from there.
Yeah.
I would say. What helped is us going within ourselves, meditating. And with the idea that there is no separation. Like, that evil isn't bad. That darkness isn't some bad, evil, creepy thing. That darkness is just a version of you that doesn't know itself. Once you see that darkness is not evil, then that's what will help you not struggle with the idea that you can be God. Because God is not good. God is not bad. God is just God experiencing itself. And I think why a person would initially struggle with the idea that they're God is because they will look to judge themselves accordingly to what the matrix or the system of religion has taught God to be, and how we are to follow after that God that is so hard to follow after, that God had to literally send his only begotten son to do exactly what we couldn't do, that we kept failing at. So we kept failing at a dualistic reality,
right,
of good and evil.
Listen, there was going to be no way.
No way,
right, to do it.
There was no way. So Jesus literally came and was like, yo, if your eye be single, your body will be full of light. A dualistic perspective does not have a single eye. That eye is not single. That eye is not healthy. So that light that could be in you is now darkness. It's just ignorance. It's just you not knowing oneself.
Right.
So once your eye becomes single, once our eye became single, it was like, oh, dude, my body is full of light. I see the right way. I see that it's just one. It used to be two, but now that two is a greater one. And it was just one the whole time. The reason why it was two, because we divided the one. We didn't know. We was birthed in the same thing everybody else was birthed into. And
given an identity in so many different ways, other than the true, which is who you are. And so, like, man, once I realized that this whole thing, this whole journey is us remembering, us coming back to who we truly are, realizing that.
Game changer.
Man, everything changes from there.
And think about it too, like, why are they telling us to go to church? They are already subliminally calling us who? They not calling us God. They not saying, God, come to church because you need salvation in your life. You smell like a sinner. They not saying that. What they saying is, come to church. Not all ye faithful, all ye devils. They already calling us the devil by making us believe that we got to go to church. So we already coming in with an identity. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was already coming in with the identity that we were the devil. So that's why it was hard for me personally the first 3 to 6 months. Because I'm like, bro, I was going to church because I was perceived as bad.
So I needed to be saved.
Yeah, that I needed to be rescued by a building with some people in it that do the exact same thing that they saying that I need to be there for. And everybody in there in the same boat. It's just you got one leader with his finger in the hole that's in the boat. And the moment he take his finger out, everybody goes down. But he can't take his finger out because he can't make himself look average, or he can't or she can't make herself look just like the rest of us. Ones without their finger in the hole. The moment they take their finger out of the hole and identify with the rest of everybody on the boat, then the boat sinks. The boat is the religion, the matrix, the system. And so that's where we come in as understanding that we are God. We have exited that system of religion and that matrix. And yeah, it's our subconscious because everything that was put in our minds of what we are because of that religion, that stuff is not being cleansed through our lake of fire experience. So yeah, we went through our lake of fire experience, but all of that stuff having to be washed away.
Yes.
With fire, which is purification, and brimstone, which is the nature of God, which is who you truly are at heart's depth. So yeah, that's what helped us, and that's kind of like been our reality from there. Once the dualistic reality faded away out of our reality, it was almost like we timeline jumped onto a whole nother world. Because we don't see the same way no more. Like literally, we just don't. Man, problems that we face, people that come up to us just and not believing what we believe. But the funny part is, we don't want you to believe what we believe because we believe it. No, we really want you to believe what you believe because you know it.
Yes, for yourself.
Yeah, you know it. And as quiet as it's kept, listen, throw your beliefs away like we did. We threw belief away too. It's really just about what you know at this point. You know, we are in an age of knowing right now. So belief has no purpose in this age. It's really just about what you know, because what you know is what you've already been living out at this point. So we're not trying to change no one. We are an alarm clock. So for those who hear it are already going to wake up. But those who are still asleep, it is okay to rest until you hear the alarm for you to wake up. No one said it was wrong for God to rest on the seventh day. Oh, well, but look what all he did in 6. You can't tell me that God don't deserve to rest. You do deserve to rest. And that's what we realized. We were just resting until we woke up to create all over again. So guys, please remember that darkness is only evil when there is no awareness within. When a seed is planted, it is planted in the ground where there is no light. But that seed knows who and what it is when it is planted in the dark. The question is, do we know who we are when we are planted in the dark? So let us raise our vibration because light has come. We know together.
We grow together.
Conscious at night.
So guys, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Conscious at Night. Also, don't forget to turn on your post notifications so that you guys can be notified every time we drop a video.